Hey guys, welcome back. We are continuing to look at the Blue Eyes archetype. Today I'm going to be talking about a few more of the main deck monsters and the first few of the extra deck monsters, including the anime boss monster Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon and the real life boss monster Dragon Master Magia. Let's go. First up, we've got Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon, which is a level 8 light dragon monster with 2500 attack and defense. Its effect is, if this card is special summoned, you can add one ritual spell or one polymerization from your deck to your hand. During your end phase, you can add one level 8 or higher dragon monster from your deck to your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. All level 8 or higher dragon monsters you control gain 1000 attack. You can only use each effect of Blue Eyes Abyss Dragon once per turn, and you can only activate them while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on your field or in your graveyard. Not bad effects by any means, but considering it is an ultra rare, it's just not really worth running, a bit like some of the other cards we looked at. Considering it doesn't have an ability that can inherently special summon it, it ends up being outpaced by a lot of the other cards. Next up, inspired by Kaiba's Blue Eyes Jet in the anime, we've got Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, a level 8 light dragon monster with 3000 attack and 0 defense. Its effect is, other cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Blue Eyes Jet Dragon once per turn, and can only activate them while Blue Eyes White Dragon is on your field or in your graveyard. If a card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from the graveyard if it was there when the card was destroyed, or hand even if not. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. This has the first example of a couple of things we're going to see, including the kind of janky problem-solving card text, needing to elaborate how the card can be special summoned and where from. It also has a decent effect to bounce an opponent's card back to the hand, which is one of the best forms of removal, considering it bypasses having to destroy a card or having to send an opponent's card to the graveyard. At this point, I'd tend to say this is a solid side deck option, but Master Duel doesn't have side decks, so it kind of ends up being a card which does work in Blue Eyes, but again, maybe a little bit too slow. And Deep Eyes White Dragon is a level 10 light dragon monster with 0 attack and defense. Its effect is, when a face-up Blue Eyes monster you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect and you have a dragon-type monster in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, inflict 600 damage to your opponent for each dragon-type monster with different names in your graveyard. If this card is normal or special summoned, target one dragon-type monster in your graveyard. This card's attack becomes equal to that monster's. If this card on the field is destroyed by card effect, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Originally released alongside the Dark Side of Dimensions movie, this card is fine. It's not necessarily very synergistic with the rest of the archetype, being a level 10 and sort of having a burn damage effect, which can take a chunk out of your opponent's life points. But as only a super rare, it's worth trying for yourself and seeing. Next, we have another card that debuted in a Yu-Gi-Oh movie, that being the first Yu-Gi-Oh movie, Pyramid of Light. Paladin of White Dragon is a level 4 dragon ritual monster with 1900 attack and 1200 defense, and its effect is, you can ritual summon this card with White Dragon Ritual. At the start of the damage step, if this card attacks a face-down defense position monster, destroy that face-down monster. You can tribute this card, special summon one Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand or deck, but Blue Eyes White Dragon cannot attack for the rest of this turn. This normal rarity card may have been good once, 21 years ago in the TCG, but it's never been good in Master Duel, and for that reason it's only really worth crafting if you're kind of playing a gimmicky deck. And the final main deck monster of this video is Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, a dark level 8 dragon ritual monster with 3000 attack and 0 defense. Its effect is, you can ritual summon this card with Chaos form, must be ritual summoned. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, also it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. If this card was ritual summoned using Blue Eyes White Dragon, when it declares an attack, you can change the battle positions of as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, and if you do, the attack and defense of those changed monsters become 0. Also this turn, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. This monster is really good, although since the release of the upgraded Blue Eyes Chaos Max Dragon, it doesn't get run so much, although as an R rarity, it can be easier to craft and therefore good to run if you're trying to run Dragon Master Magia, which needs a Chaos monster as one of its fusion materials. And possibly the best card so far, the super rare Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, which is a light level 8 dragon fusion monster with 3400 attack and 2900 defense. Its materials are Blue Eyes White Dragon plus 1 dragon monster, and its effect is must first be either fusion summoned or special summoned from your extra deck by tributing 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon equipped with a fusion monster. Unaffected by trap cards or effects, can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Once per turn, at the end of the damage step, if this card battled, you can target 1 trap in your graveyard, set it. It is kind of a blessing that this card is only a super rare, considering it's got such good effects, and its ability to cheat itself out of the extra deck can generate so much advantage purely by being played in combination with Wishes for Eyes of Blue and a few other cards. I'll explain that full combo at some point, because I would like to do more of these videos where I actually show the cards working together, but for now just know that this card is great. Next is Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, a light level 10 dragon fusion monster with 3000 attack and 2500 defense. Its materials are Blue Eyes White Dragon and Blue Eyes White Dragon, and its effect is must be the fusion summoned or special summoned by sending the above monsters you control to the graveyard. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase. At the end of the damage step, when this card attacks an opponent's monster, but the opponent's monster was not destroyed by the battle, you can banish that opponent's monster. This is another really good super rare, considering it can summon itself without the use of a fusion card, and getting 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons onto the field in this archetype isn't actually that difficult. One of the Blue Eyes cards that's basically at its strongest during the battle phase. And next we have one of the most iconic monsters in the game, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, a level 12 light dragon monster with 4500 attack and 3800 defense. It is made of 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons and has no effect. On the field, it's not really anything more than a vanilla fusion beat stick, but we will see soon why this rare card still sees play in Blue Eyes decks. Next up is Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is of course a retrain of the original with the same statistics, level 12, 4500 attack, 3800 defense, a light dragon fusion monster which is made up of 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. Its effect reads, at the end of the damage step, if this fusion summoned card attacked, and this is the only face-up card you control, you can send 1 Blue Eyes fusion monster from your extra deck to the graveyard. This card can attack again in a row. You can use this effect of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon twice per turn. When a card or effect is activated that targets a Blue Eyes monster you control, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. This card really is a must for the Blue Eyes extra deck. Its effect to send a Blue Eyes monster from the extra deck to the graveyard is kind of intended to be used on another copy of itself. That way you have a graveyard negate setup. As I mentioned earlier, you can equip Neo to a Blue Eyes and then send that to graveyard by summoning Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon, which is kind of the most effective way to get this into the graveyard. And it still remains an option to go into that's powerful and has a good effect on the field. And last but definitely not least is Dragon Master Magia. This is a level 12 light dragon fusion effect monster with 5000 attack and 4000 defense. Its materials are Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon or 3 Blue Eyes monsters and 1 Chaos or Blackluster Soldier ritual monster. Its effect reads, must be fusion summoned. When your opponent activates a card or effect, quick effect, you can negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. You can only use this effect of Dragon Master Magia in response to each card type, monster, spell, or trap once per turn. If this face-up card in its owner's control leaves the field because of an opponent's card, you can special summon 1 Blue Eyes monster or 1 Chaos or Blackluster Soldier ritual monster from your extra deck or graveyard. Oh boy, where to start with this one? Whilst this card is amazing and it is obviously super fun to summon, I'd probably recommend crafting cards like Blue Eyes Spirit and Ultimate Spirit Dragon first, just because they are much easier to get out. That said, there are so many cards in the Blue Eyes archetype that you can kind of choose whether you want to build your deck more around the fusion monsters or the synchro monsters. And that's it for this video. I think there are going to be probably a couple more videos on Blue Eyes related cards, and there are some that didn't come up as related, but I will find in due course. If you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much, and maybe even leave a comment and let me know which cards you'd like me to cover next. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one. I don't really know what to say about this one. It does a lot, but it's still not really one that gets run in the Blue Eyes. Next, another fusion monster in Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, which is a level 10. The last main deck monster we have to look at today is Deep Eyes White Dragon, a level 10 dragon monster. There is a whole line around this card which can generate a lot of advantage. Essentially, you can banish Wishes for Eyes of Blue from your graveyard in order to attach